All right, what's up everybody? I'm back. I've got another review for you guys. Today I've got the, well, I'm gonna say it's new-ish. I think it's about a year, maybe a year and a half old. This is the Perceptions Kayaks Outlaw 11.5. So this is a boat I've been wanting to paddle for a while. For everyone that doesn't know about Perceptions had a fishing lineup for a while. They had the Pescador series and a few others out there. I think they had the Striker. I remember a few that I paddled back in the day. The thing with Perception Kayaks fishing, it's been more geared towards the kind of beginner to entry-level fishing market. This Outlaw series, what Perception wanted to do with this was have a more aggressive, like go after more of an aggressive type fishing market. I can tell you guys, I have tried this out and they nailed it. I will be doing an on-water review. I really like this boat. I like what they did with it. You can kind of see over it there. I've got this one kind of decked out for a good day of fishing. I decked this one out kind of the way I like it so you guys can kind of see some of the things that I do with it. But I will break it down and show you exactly what you will get if you just purchase this boat. Obviously, you're not going to get all this stuff. This is my fishing type setup. I'm going to show you kind of how I do the Outlaw, how I like to set it up. Very impressive on a package. I think when it came out, it was $749. They just raised it. It might be $849. I'll put it up on the screen now to show you guys, but around 850 bucks for a fishing kayak. Look at how this thing is decked out. Look how you can deck this out. I mean, just some basic fishing packs. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start the walkthrough. I'll do my normal thing. I'll start here at the back and kind of work my way up, but yeah, I'll do my best to show you guys, and then I'll show you a little bit of the hull and stuff without dumping all my stuff over. So yeah, let's get started now. I said I was going to start in the back, but you know what? Let's start in the front and work our way back, because there's a lot going on from about right here back, and it's going to take me a while. So I'm going to start up here. So let's just start up here with the obvious. Captain Obvious. There's no hardware for a handle up here. So what did Perception do? They've done something. This is nothing new, so I know I've seen a lot of reviews out there. This has been done on a lot of boats. It's a molded in. They integrated the handle into the kayak, so during the molding process, this is like a separate piece that has to be removed, where it's a pass-through handle like this. This is nothing new, but one thing they've done, they've added texture up under it right here along this side. You can lift it on the side here, in the center here, or here. It's actually got 4 ways of lifting that. Now that's kind of new. I don't think there's much out there, and the reason they got away with that, they squared that up so it gives you a handle here, a handle here, handle there, and probably even a handle there. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Technically you got 5 bow handles, by the way. So let's just get that out of the way. One of the features that definitely I haven't seen, I don't know, maybe this is out there. You guys leave in the comments out if you've seen this before. But one of the things is when you're standing in the kayak, you can prop your paddle just like that. You see that? Why is that important? I'm going to show you. So when I'm standing in the boat like this and I'm fishing and I've got this paddle right here and I've used it to get across the lake, I'm using it to move around, I don't have to reach down and put it in that or slide it in there. I can just prop it right here. And that doesn't seem like that's that big of a deal, but I'm telling you, when you start, it's just the convenience and how nicely you can get in and out, use your paddle, grabbing it and putting it in there. That's actually kind of an innovative feature. I like that. Simplicity and innovation. Very smart. Good job on Perception on that. I like that idea. So yeah, enough about that right there. You know, it's a big open handle, big squared area, kind of looks like a little smiley face right there. You're good to go. One thing they have done, they put this mesh net up here. I can tell you guys, I've never been a big fan of mesh on fishing kayaks because treble hooks do have a tendency to hang up in this. That's why when I was at Bonafide, we wanted to go with more of a nylon type covering up here. You have to be real careful with your treble hooks. They did make this mesh a very, very tight weave in there. So I did run a treble hook across it. You can snag it I did snag it a little bit right there. So you got to be careful on that. But works great. What are the odds? You know, the odds of, you know, snagging up there is pretty slim. But what I do like, you can walk up very easily and unhook it. So it's not a big deal. It's not like it's way up there and you can't access adjustable. These bungees are adjustable. You can see I put my watershed bag, my roll down style seal line bag in there. I've got 2 bags in there. Got an extra rod holder. Very nice little mushroom fittings right there. And this is adjustable to go a little wider. Because this platform, you know, I know you guys are looking at it and I've got it decked out as fishing, but it's also a great camping platform. If you need some stability and you need something to kind of like pack tents, pack gear, coolers, whatever, this might be the way to go, especially at $850, $849 for a package like this for camping. I think you guys would really like that a lot for you at kind of adventure tops out there. Nice little tank well here. It does have the scupper up here, so this scupper will also be where you would mount your transducer. It does have a transducer. When I roll it over, I'll show you how the transducer mounts, and the fish finder will mount right here. I'm going to show you guys. So this is something that Perception's the first one to do this, and all this is a little cap. You see that little cap right there? You pop that little cap and that's molded in threads. This, I'm not that big of a fan of it. I can tell you personally, after using Yak Attack gear tracks and all that, here's what it does. I'm going to show you guys a ram ball mount, and it screws in. These are available on Perception. I think you can find a link to those. I'll try to leave a link in the description, but you see how it just screws in right there? And these ram style fishing rod holders. You can mount a camera here. It mounts a fish finder, camera, whatever. But me personally, what I like are these little mighty mounts. These little mighty mounts would work just as well. The problem is you do have a hatch. You can drill out this for a hatch up here and make it where you have an access plate for a hatch so you can reach and get your hardware. I would personally put a hatch in this boat if I owned this boat, but you could thread those directly into plastic. These things hold actually pretty good. Believe it or not, just thread it into plastic. But preferably you want to access that backside right there. It's great that Perception does kind of think outside the box a little bit and use a system like that. It's super solid, guys. It's definitely way more solid than a gear track. Speaking of gear tracks, if you notice, they don't do many gear tracks on this boat, huh? So, unlike previous boats, you know, when you look at the RS, when you look at boats like the RS, the Falcon, kind of like what's in this area right here, this kind of like fishing platform, maybe some Crescent light tackle, there's a lot of good gear tracks. This only has 2 gear tracks, and they double as a handle. So you have a gear track here, but it also doubles as a handle, and they're very, very sturdy. You can see I'm running a Roto grip, a Yak Attack Yoda grip, Yoda grip, and the little cup. And what I really like this cup for is to throw loose lures and kind of like plastics that I'm done using. I just toss them in there, and then I dump them out. It helps organize it. And I don't know if you guys know this, but that's actually made for hooking, to hang hooks on. So I can stage lures right there to utilize that. So these little solo mounts, you get 3 of them, 1 on each side, and you get, me personally, I'd like to see them a little further back. If you look at how far they are, when it's mounted up here, really the only thing that I could really utilize up there is a camera, because the rod holder is so far forward. But it does put it out of the way for paddling, and I'll show you when I'm paddling the boat. All right, moving on back. If you notice something, this is a very wide open deck, no foot braces. I can tell you, at first you look at this, you're like, well, that looks kind of cheap, there's no foot braces. But 99% of the time when I was paddling the bona fide boats, I had found I rested my feet right here on that. And I'm right at about 5'10". I think anybody any taller, their knees might be a little higher. But that's a nice solid platform, and that works. You can put your feet down there if you want it. And you can install some foot braces if you really want to. With maybe some post mold inserts or some sort of well nut, you could easily install foot braces on this. But me personally, I wouldn't. I like it that they did this wide open platform. Gives you less going on, looks nice, very functional. Really cool looking traction pads. These traction pads run all the way up. They're made out of a type of rubberized foam. It's not like the traction pads I've seen in the past. These are very sturdy. The Perception logo on them, very sturdy. Personally, they could have added a little more structure in here to give it a little more structure in that center. But, you know, it works. It's fine. When you're out on the water, I can tell you guys, when you're standing in a boat like this on the bank, it seems like that. But when you get out on the water, you don't see it at all. Nice little area right here. This area right here actually helps for transporting the seat, and it adds structure back there. Just so you know, it dropped these down. We'll see how those drain. It looks like they should drain well, but I'm a little worried that this point is higher here than right here. So we'll see how that drains. But look at the structure that adds back there. See, now that's what I'm talking about. Adding structure like that, it gives you just a harder platform. Oh yeah, so they do have a paddle park here, but I noticed that this paddle park doesn't function that well. You can stick it in there while you're sitting, but me personally, I like a roto grip. They're cheap, maybe 15 bucks, and even if you're not using that, it's just great to set it down instead of like fumbling with trying to get it in and out. And there's a potential of it falling out, where with a roto grip, it locks it in there, and you can kind of lock it in there nicer like that. All right, where was I? Yeah, so I showed you on that how I run the handle. This side over here, left side's more suited for like a Yeti cup or some sort of coffee cup. You can see a hand goes in there. So the left side's a little smaller than the right side. The right side accommodates an algae bottle extremely well, because if you look, that's a little too big for a cup over there, and then an algae bottle is a little, it will go, but it's a little tight in there. So these are two different sizes. Moving on to the seat, if you notice, this seat is one position, and that's what kind of sets it apart from a boat like when you look at a boat like the RS 117, which is what I think this boat kind of competes up against. The RS 117 has a high-low seating. 90% of the paddlers I know run their seat in the high the entire time, and it just gives you more visibility. It sets you up higher. It's just more comfortable for standing up, getting up and down. This seat is in the high position at all times. There is no low position. The only time I use the low position mostly is when I'm paddling across a lake going long distances, and because what it does, it lowers me down lower to the water, and it's easier to take paddle strokes. But this is fine. This seating position is perfect. It's almost, I think it was 16 inches on the height on that. And actually, I'll put the specs up. I think the overall weight capacity is 425 pounds, fully loaded capacity. You got the seat is a 16 inches high. The length of the boat's like 11'5", 11'6", somewhere in that range, maybe 70 something pounds. I'll throw the specs up, so I'll leave those up on the screen so you guys can check those out. And the color on this is called Dapper. I think there's Grasshopper, Dapper, Moss Camo, and Sunrise. Really cool. This is a little washed out, but the color patterns are pretty good. I really like that that Grasshopper color. That looks awesome. I love a green mix like that. So yeah, where was I at? So I was on the seat. Looking at the seating position, like I said, it's a nice, comfortable seat, well-designed seat. And I can tell you guys, at first I looked at this system right here. This bungee system does not look like it will work. When I looked at this, it does not look like that would hold the seat in, but I can tell you, I can almost move this boat around by this seat. That functions extremely well. Very impressive, because it fits down. It's not just being held by this bungee, it's being held because it's down inside that track, and it does not move. Look at that, how well that functions. Very impressive. And if I want to take that out, it's just these little tabs right here that they claim is patent pending on those tabs, little perception logos. Kind of cool, attention to detail. I like that kind of stuff. That comes out like that, two back here, and that seat just pops right out. That's kind of like, and that's what that track up there, you would wrap this around here and around here while you're transporting this. It gives you a good way of transporting that seat. And another cool feature is that slides back there. And what you can do, that area right there will hold a 35-liter cooler right here. So that gives you a platform to sit on and stand on, put drinks in, you could put bait in, whatever. That's a cool feature right there. Look how it's perfectly squared out for that. Oh, and if you guys, it has scupper plugs under there that, once again, to add structure in there and drainage. If you're wondering, this is actually called a spin well. In the rotomolding process, you have to vent your kayak out, and if you notice, there's no hatches or no open spots on this boat. So you can vent out right here. And what they've done, so you vent out, and then when it's done molded, it's a solid sealed unit. They spin that really fast and it melts to it. And that's what that thing is. That's a spin well right there. Do not try to cut into that. Do not try to remove that. You're going to ask for a lot of problems, by the way. So yeah. So one thing, once this up, this is not a seat or a set. You know, even though I feel like I could sit on it, I would not recommend it. You will break it. It's more or less like a storage to get it out of the way. Would be nice if that was a extra seat that you could lean on up there. Kind of cool, ain't it? I like that feature. Usually companies, they have you take their seat off. You just set the seat aside somewhere. Look how easy that is. And it also doubles as a camp chair, obviously. If you take it off, it gives you like a camp chair for sitting around, maybe sitting and doing some bank fishing. Right up under there, big, nice open area. I could put a lot of stuff under there. Oh, on the side here, check these things out. So Perceptions are calling these their saddlebags. Let me go around to the other side. Perception is calling, this does not come with the boat. This is an aftermarket accessory. Very, very cool. I highly recommend these. After using them, wow, they function extremely well. Very well made. One thing is they're a little loose, so what I've done, I just wrap them around like that. You can see, I just wrap those around. They're not going anywhere. And check this out. They've got a spot right here. I put like some fish grippers, some hook pullers, some quick things I want to get to is all right here. You unhook that one, unhook that, and check that out. 2 full-on Plano boxes down inside there. And if you didn't want to run those, what I suggest doing is getting you some bungee like this and just kind of bungeeing down some stuff. Pretty simple, cheap. I made these before I had the saddlebags, so yeah, now I have the saddlebags. I don't need them. Is that not cool? What a cool little feature. That's different. I love these little aftermarket accessories. I highly recommend these guys. Very well made, solid. They've got drainage in the bottom, so if they do get water in them, very impressive. But I'll take them off and show you. If you didn't want to go with the saddlebags, I would recommend something like that and then run the Plano boxes there. You can get these little bungees at any type of retailer or order them online. Very nice, very impressive what they molded into this kayak, I can tell you guys. Moving on, this is another first for me. I've not seen anything like this. Normally I see flush mounted rod holders or molded in top rod holders. Never was a big fan of those. They do work, but check out what Perception's done. They're calling this the double barrel rod holder. I've got spinners on this side and I've got, notice, look, they can't come out. Spinning on that side, my bait casters on this side. Look at this. That ain't coming out. Is that not cool? They come, it's almost like they gave you that feature. You don't have to run this because these are, it's at a nice 45 degree right there. And look, you can take these out. This is adjustable if you needed to. That has a little lock on it and it is adjustable right here and it just latches around right there. Very, very innovative on that one. See, those aren't going anywhere. That's locked in place. Something that simple, that's pretty cool. The double barrel rod holders. Once again, this track back here adds structure to it, but it's also a place to put the seat. Very nice, big open tank well. I've got my Visicarbon Pro going. I run that off the back. Like I said, I wish they do have a little area back here where you could put some gear tracks. So this area back here, if you guys wanted, it's a good spot for any type of Mighty mounts or the small 6-inch Yak Attack gear tracks. You could screw them in back there. And there's an area right here if you wanted to put something there. So yeah, that's why I have that, just to show you guys. Yeah, nice, big, huge open tank well. Very impressive. I've got it bungeed down and you see how I have my net here that's easily accessed behind the seat. They do have a seat bag, by the way, that goes on that. You guys could check that out too. All right, moving on back, you can put an access plate here. So if you wanted to put a trolling motor mount, a power pole, you can put dual power poles because this is so freaking wide back there. So you're gonna need to access into that. That's easily done. You just cut out the hole. Perception made it very easy to add deck plate to this. Drain plug, always good to have a drain plug. Once again, the built-in handle back here. Let's roll it over. I'm gonna go ahead and roll it over. I'm gonna take my rods out and then I'm gonna just kind of roll it up on its side so you guys can see the hull. Up on its edge right here, I'm just gonna go back and walk through. You can see this hull. It's more of a pontoon kind of catamaran style hull. This is a proven hull, very similar to a bona fide style hull, but different. If you look here, what Perception has done, they've rounded that off. Bona fide's more of a hard like edge right there, and then it's a drop down, and then it's not super deep here. It drops in, and then it's got this kind of keel line that runs the entire length of the hull here, that runs from here all the way back. Not much rocker, almost zero rocker in this. So I don't know if you can see that, straight as an arrow. And it's gonna be good. What this tells me with that lack of rocker, it's gonna have that smooth around lake, around small ponds feeling, but not the best on rivers. But it doesn't have a super hard edge on it, which I do like. Fishing kayak, you don't need to have a hard transition in your edge. Look how they smooth that off. And it's all textured. Very nice texture all the way over it. That's that sandblasted texture, feels really good. There's that little logo. Is that not cool looking? That handle has a nice grip on the inside, outside, and around that, and that's textured all the way around. Very good on those guys. Transducer mount, so your transducer runs down here. You take these screws out, you put a mount on there, it runs out there. It mounts. Transducers are not cheap to replace. I love it that they've added a place to protect it. You only need to run a transducer up to about right there for it to function properly. And maybe if you had some side scan or something like that, like the Garmin, you might want to run it a little deeper right here. But I like this. This works well. Very good on Perception for putting that in. That's easy to mold that in, by the way. Scuppers, they have these kind of teardrop style scuppers running down, more like a teardrop. Skid plates, gotta love the skid plates. Nice replaceable skid plates. You drag these, you wear them down, you replace them. You can order them off Perception. You can get new ones, you're good to go. Once again, nice big handle back here that they just kind of molded in. Let's roll it back over and... All right, everybody, that's all I've got. That's the complete walkthrough that I have on the Perception Outlaw 11.5. You can, if you want to find a dealer, go to perceptionkayaks.com, do their dealer locator. These retail, I think they're around about $8.49 now. Very good value for what you're getting with a boat like this. So yeah, hey, you guys leave in the comments below if this is a boat that you've used, or you know somebody, or you want one like this. Very curious. I just did a quick little kind of first look at a boat called the Showdown. So you got the Outlaw, then you got the Showdown that's going to be a pedal drive version. But if you're not into pedal drives, this Outlaw is the way to go. Super nice platform, very nice. So yeah, you guys comment below what you think of this boat, if this is something you've used or something you're thinking about. And I will have the on-water review coming. But yeah, thanks a lot, everybody. Catch you guys next time. Woo! The Outlaw. Oh yeah.